24, not 13 months. All right, here we go. Patrick Berger, right here on our daily show at 10:33 on this 18th day of January. Now, I just got to start off, Patrick, because I'm an honest person. Right. Contrary to public belief here, I'm really honest. I was talking to my grandpa the other day because I said, he always asks who's coming on the show, and I said, well, Patrick Berger is. He goes, Berger? The Buick dealership? And I go, no, that ain't no way. And he goes, I'm telling you, that's his family. Those are his folks. Kept telling him no. And then you come in today and say, basically, that I was completely wrong.
Yeah, no, pretty much, yeah. We had that forever. I was fourth generation growing up there.
It's incredible.
Got to work with my family going there. And we shut that down about 10 years ago, and we'd kind of always talked off and on over the years about it'd be great to be able to find something where we could be back together again. And a couple of years ago with COVID and that, I came up with this idea and asked my mom if she wanted to come out of retirement, and asked Dad what he was doing, and next thing you know, they're working for me now.
The gang's back together, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's so cool. And I mean, and that's what I was going to ask you too, because now that knowing that, I mean, what's the difference for you? What was the biggest change from going to a family-owned, family-operated business to going to work for, the corporate ladder in a way?
There was definitely some differences, with family. There's stuff you can say to each other that right. You can't necessarily say to regular, traditional office
right.
environment.
Right.
So no, that's a little different. It's one nice thing with family is, for sure everyone's pulling the rope in the same direction. Everyone's got your back. You don't have to worry about some of the, inner office stuff that sometimes would pop up in places. So
yeah, and now you in this transition, you were with a franchise. How does that work?
So
I'm learning too.
Yeah, no, I'm an insurance agent now. So the first couple years of being an insurance agent, I was what's called a captive agent. So that basically meant I was tied to one particular carrier and focused on their whole line of products, and which is great. There's a lot of captive agents out there. Nothing wrong with that, especially with the kind of the market right now. We decided to switch to an independent agent now. So basically, now I've got access to wider carriers, a little more product availability. I'm not just handcuffed to what the one particular carrier had.
Now, so does that mean, in a way, you could find almost better, packages for an individual that way?
Yeah, sometimes. Okay. It's one of those things where with a captive, you're stuck with whatever they have. When you're an independent, you can sit and look at, this carrier, their rates came in here. Maybe I can find a better quote over here. You can kind of piece together stuff. So there are advantages to both, but there's definitely a little more flexibility now that I'm an independent.
And now, when did you switch to be an independent? When did that happen?
January 1.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, brand new.
Has it been a kind of a wild few weeks then?
Yeah, wrapping up things with the previous carrier and then trying to get everything in place. And every day we're looking to add. In fact, this morning I just added one new carrier, and I got an email that I've got a meeting with another carrier next week that we're going to be adding potentially. So,
did you expect to be this busy already?
No, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing, that's for sure. Yeah. Where's your office at now?
Actually, not too far from here. It's if everyone knows where Tony's is,
right?
We're actually in the same building as Tony's. So.
Oh yeah, right on 9th Street in that corner.
Yep, right on the corner. So we've got best neighbors possible.
That's true.
And it never hurts at the end of the night to swing through and pick up some food on the way home.
I was going to ask you, there you go. Now, how has it been with the family? Now, how are they helping you out in this? Are they answering phones? Are they helping with policy?
They're doing everything.
Wow.
They're both fully licensed. We're all licensed in Missouri, Illinois. We've added Medicare supplement and Advantage plans. So they've been handling some of that stuff. No, they're doing pretty much everything.
Now, you just said something that's going to pique the interest of our listening audience, because every time I've said the M word, people just go crazy because then I don't know what I'm talking about. I just say it because it's in an article, and then they ask me for all these questions. I ain't the one. Over here is Patrick. Take us through this. So this is an interesting time. I mean, This is, start of the new year. This is when this gets covered. You see online, there's all these seminars. Take us through the Medicare maze a little bit and how you help people get started on the right track.
Well, I mean, we'll do kind of a little bit everything. Like I said, we represent both the supplement and the advantage side. So we try to go through and explain what the differences are. It's funny, everyone says, well, what's the best? There is no real, it's hard to say best because what's best for one person might be best, might not work for the other person.
Gotcha.
So, in fact, we even do kind of 101 seminars where just information stuff, don't necessarily go into like plan specific stuff, but where we will kind of take an hour and a half and go through and kind of explain all the parts of Medicare, what the differences are. In fact, I think we're doing one, I think it's around the February 23rd for St. Mary's. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and anyone's welcome. We don't collect like any name. We're not trying to sell anything. It's strictly informational.
And now that's cool because I think that's the biggest kicker to a lot of those seminars is people get worried that am I going to get sold something while I'm there? This is perfect. So is this going to be at the church or at the school?
It'll be over at the middle school.
Okay.
Yeah. At least that's what it's planned for right now. And as we get closer, we'll have information like on our Facebook page, our website, all that stuff.
And we'll transmit it over on this side too, because this is a really important topic. Yeah. And to me, it always worries me because I ask everyone this that's in Medicare, is Joe Namath our friend?
He's a heck of a quarterback.
There you go. Good. That's the best answer I've ever had on that question. I had one time I was over at my other job, and I was doing a 9 to 11, and I was sitting there, and we were talking about Medicare and all that, and Joe Namath, and Ray goes, I'm going to ask him the Joe Namath question. We were in trouble after that show because he was not a fan. Well, now, take us through it. Have you ever had somebody in your experience, because there's always that one story or two stories, has there ever been anyone that came into like insure or get coverage on something that's just rather, not bizarre, but just different?
I mean, actually, just the other day, I had someone ask if I could get their hands insured for them.
Oh. Are they masseuse?
Bartender.
Well, there you go. That's incredible, man. So what's been the best part about getting the family back together and doing this? Is it just the sense of being together again?
Yeah, no, 100%. We absolutely loved it when we were together the first time. And I mean, anyone that's ever worked with family knows it's not 100% always great. You're going to butt heads with people, and but it's fun to go to work every day, and get to spend time with your parents, and I mean their dog is even hanging out around the office.
I love it.
So I mean we do have fun there.
Well, I love it because, and, so many times, I always, we always joke with Rigdon, that family business, lunch is always interesting. Yeah. And like you said, there's so many different ways to really, you're a unified front, and that's what's really cool about it. So what's one, if you could, we have a couple of minutes here.
Yeah.
Let's utilize them about maybe some ways, because I'm new to this. I'll be honest. If I don't know something, I just say, I don't know, and I move on. But we have an expert here in the insurance field, I would say so. So what's kind of if you're talking to a younger person, because we have a lot of those watching the show a lot, what's the best way to kind of look for rates? What do you when you start shopping for rates? Is it looking for a specific carrier? Is it looking for a specific agent? What's step one?
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing that a lot of people don't know going into getting a quote is how much insurance do they need.
Yeah.
Everyone's always trying to find, they want the absolute cheapest, bare minimum, whatever's going to get them the insurance card.
I saw Shaquille O'Neal driving with that old guy. I want that car insurance,
and so I mean, the big thing is you got to sit down and figure out, okay, how much coverage do I need? So it's always good to talk to, you can obviously go online and get quotes and all that stuff, but it's always good to find an agent you're comfortable with, and sit down and have a discussion with them. Hey, what do you recommend? And then kind of from there work and see what fits in the budget.
Yeah.
Because sometimes being underinsured can be almost as bad as not insured at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, that's where I think that gets scary, because you think you're covered on something, and then like car insurance, I feel like that's a big one with that, right? You think
Sure.
you got full coverage, and then all of a sudden you total out and you realize, well, it ain't covered.
Well, and honestly, the worst part would be say you're in an accident where somebody gets hurt and you don't have enough liability coverage.
Oh.
And
I didn't even think
so
about
then all of a sudden, you're looking at a case where, if you've got state minimums and someone's trying to come after you for $100,000, $200,000 for medical bills, that can run into a little bit of an issue.
I don't even want to drive home now. And I don't even know what my coverage is. But you know what? I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm joking, but that's a good thing to talk about. Because honestly, Patrick, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
And I mean, have you ever encountered something like that where, someone meets with you, they think they got the best policy, they're maybe just looking at different quotes or different, companies, and you're looking going, you are not insured for what you think you're insured for.
Well, and honestly, just the other day, we were working on a home quote with an individual. He's been with his agent forever and never really gone back to review home values, things like that. And especially in the last few years, prices have shot up, cost to rebuild has shot up. And so was currently only insured for about $200,000, but then when you run what the number should be, he was about $180,000 too light.
Oh.
And so
that's a lot of money.
So if he would have run into an issue with his home, that's a big gap to cover right there.
And see, was that how long have you been in insurance from start to finish up to current?
Honestly, realistically, only about 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, right around there. But I have had a lot of good mentors growing up. Honestly, a few people that I talk to regularly are, have been agents forever. I know Gerard Fisher. He's been. Oh yeah. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He
really is.
He's a great agent. That's
actually refreshing to hear, though, because so many times when I have someone on the show, or we have it seems like everyone's in this idea of I'm the only one out there. Don't look in Facebook. Don't look on newspaper. It's just me, and but to talk about people, I mean, that's really, and that to me kind of makes me feel like really cool about this, because you're emphasizing that.
Sure. Yeah. No. There are definitely a lot of good people out, and sometimes it can be, you might find an agent that you're just more comfortable with than others. Right. Sometimes it's just, so. I wish everyone does well. If everyone's doing good, that means that's good for everyone. Right. So yeah, no, I've never been afraid to, if I see someone succeeding to compliment them, and that, there's no reason not to. That's incredible. Well, out of the 2 years you've been doing this, we'll say, what's been the most surprising aspect of the industry that you're still kind of, learning about? Honestly, a lot of it was, I can still remember, because the licenses, you've got to do some pre-licensing classes. And I can remember sitting in the class, and I'd never really thought about the liability side of it, like I brought up. And I'm sitting there in class, and the instructor, he's like, how many of you have ever really talked to an agent? You just bought the. I'm sitting there thinking, well, that's me. Right. And then he's like, how many of you before doing the knew what all this was? Well, that's not me. And you start looking at it, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, I start looking at I'm like, well, shoot, I might be underinsured now. So all of a sudden, I'm calling my agent I had at the time, like, we need to have a conversation. So yeah, no, that's been kind of the biggest thing, is kind of learning, getting a better understanding of how everything works, and what the liability coverages are, and between that and then learning, you can insure pretty much anything now. It's so it's kind of neat to come across some of that stuff. Wow. And now, for people that maybe are interested in utilizing your guys' services, what's the first step for you guys? So if I'm calling you for the first time, what can I expect? Typically we're going to ask just kind of some general basic questions, just to kind of get an idea of who you are, get an idea of what you're wanting. If anyone ever wants to come into the office, we strongly encourage it, to be able to sit down. We can also do the video chats, and we can do it over the phone, whatever. We can go meet you. But we try to ask some questions, not trying to be nosy, but just to get an overall picture, and make sure, hey, it helps us build like an idea, recommend for liabilities, or hey, have you thought about life insurance here, or different things like that. And from there, we'll kind of put together a quote, and we always try to do it the way we would do it for ourselves.
Right.
We'll present it. After that, if we need to adjust it up, adjust it down, we can tweak the coverages anyway. But that at least gives us a good starting point.
Absolutely. And do you guys have a website? Or?
Yeah, PatrickBergerAgency.com.
There you go.
We've got Facebook, all that stuff too. So yeah, we're easy to find.
Awesome. And well, Patrick, all I know is in a couple of months when I go, all right, I'm looking at this, Patrick, and I know that I am not covered to pay for anyone's medical expenses.
I'll say swing through it. We'll take care of you.
And anytime you want to come on, maybe if we might kind of cool to have a topic of the month. That'd be kind of interesting to talk about because there's so many questions. And Patrick, I really appreciate you stopping in and just kind of...
Yeah, no, it was fun. I appreciate you letting me come do it.
And thank you for proving my grandfather right. There you go. A local family business. Well, not in the car business anymore, but doing business to serve all of us here in the Riverbend community. At 10:49 on this 18th day of January, a quick break. We come back and wrap up this Wednesday morning right here in downtown Alton.